Здравствуйте, подписчики и зрители канала, с вами рубрика «Давайте подумаем». Так, в прошлой серии мы узнали, что музей хотят ограбить. Им, собственно, нашего товарища, к сожалению, убили. Что весьма странно. Это был профессиональный убийца, который замаскировался под врача. Итак, мы должны поговорить с... Так, с этим мы говорили. Но походу с профессором. Полагаю, это он?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No, I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay, shoot.
Так, давайте по порядку.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure, it was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived.
Так.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much. Only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Ну-ка, Николь.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah. Not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman.
Похоже, ты не уверен, что она сможет сохранить такой манускрипт в сохранности, такой артефакт.
This friend who has the manuscript?
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
She lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
Какой-то голос сейчас слащавый стал. Это Киловелас.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
Да, спасибо, Андре. Похоже, ты прольешь свет на многие наши вопросы. Так, ну продолжим.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Забавный парадокс. Бедный рыцарь. Да бедный рыцарь это вообще забавный парадокс, потому что рыцарь это же высшее сословие. Ну, не высшее, но и достаточно, кстати, богатое. Так, ну, впрочем, оставим историю на растерзание историкам.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Oh, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
А чего же? Наверняка же были наследники. Другое дело, что они могли вымереть или их могли все массово истреблить.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Не веришь ты нам, а зря.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
But don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Ага, ну... Забавно, в общем, каверзный вопрос, где лучше. Ну ладно, будем надеяться, что сигнализация сработает. Хотя...
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Да, достаточно популярная легенда.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Ну, как раз таки, судя по всему, существует.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Так, ну давайте тогда продолжим классический опрос.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter.
Вообще, Джордж, странный ты, кому попало показывать такой кусок алмаза, ну просто огроменный камень. Так и жить недолго останется.
No. What do you make of this ID card?
Nothing.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Alamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
С тобой все понятно.
What do you make of this tool?
Interesting. Where did you get it?
From a dig in Paris.
Vraiment? I didn't realize there were any excavations in progress in the city.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
Not now, Georgie.
Хоть... Я тебя ненавижу.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing.
Так.
Take a look at this nose, Labino.
It really doesn't interest me, Georgie.
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No.
Do you recognize this white powder, Andre?
No.
Thanks for
Понятно.
your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Так, что-то у нас... Марк решил, что я наемный убийца. Похоже, кто-то пытается помешать планам тамплиеров. Марк попросил меня доставить драгоценный камень какому-то великому магистру. Марк сказал, что те два гангстера из отеля попытаются похитить треногу. Упомянул какого-то клаунзера, за которым ассасин мог проследовать в Сирию. Странно все это. Я как раз хотел задать вопрос, как меня выгнал доктор, который на самом деле оказался не доктором, потому что он убил Марка. Эти люди по пустякам не мелочатся. Лабина полный придурок. Посмотрите, как я много всего знаю про рыцарей тамплиеров. Ладно, признаю, он кое-что узнал про хашишининов, Монфасон и про то, куда мне нужно идти. Ну да, немного да он знал.
Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Так.
Can you give
Тренога.
me any further information about the tripod?
Certainly, monsieur. It's infamous. That tripod, that belonged to John D.
Что?
What's the importance of John Dee's tripod?
D was the most famous escapologist of the 16th century. The Houdini of his time.
Don't you mean alchemist? Escapologists use ropes, chains, and handcuffs, not tripods.
Well, whatever he was, that is the tripod he used in his experiments.
What kind of experiments did John Dee perform with his tripod?
Oh, the usual. Didn't you study chemistry at school?
Yeah, but we skipped over thaumatology.
Да, с тобой мы общались. Тут я и думаю, что-то не сходится в твоем рассказе. Ну ладно, спасибо. Бывай.
Thanks for your help.
Так. А что там у нас?
Leave it alone. That closet.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Так. Нам нужно предотвратить ограбление. Можно сделать ход конем. Давай. И прикинемся к кранам. Отлично.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobino.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
Вот и наши приятели.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
Ой, Джордж, что ты делаешь?
What the? Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
А, Джордж, что ты делаешь? Что это было? Что за...
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Да, нас, Джордж, провели вокруг пальца. И кто провел?
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Так. Что ж, это хорошо. Так, ну что ж, выдвигаемся.
Better get back to the quest.
Давай, Джордж, нас ждут дела. Так, запись. Париж, музей Крун. Хотел уже было помешать ограблению, как мне на репу свалился тотемный столб, а потом вдруг с потолка спустился какой-то супергерой без опознавательных знаков. Это Ника была женщиной-кошкой, ну и девушка. В общем, теперь у нас есть тренога, а я нашел алмаз. Пора идти на Монфасон и посмотреть, что там можно с ним затворить. Так, Монфасон. А, Монфасон здесь. Так, жонглер, толпа, зевак. Ну, давай поговорим с тобой.
Excuse me, officer.
А это констебль? Что с тобой? Ты жив?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Tampliers.
А,
Only
дедушка.
that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Но это хорошо. Лишняя осведомленность нам не помешает.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the so-so Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
Ну ладно, тебе можно. Тебе уже на пенсию пора. Так.
What do you know about medieval ironmongery? Have a look at this little baby.
A tripod. What is it for?
You mean you don't know?
No, monsieur. Nor do you, I think.
Look at this gem. What do you think?
cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for real.
What kind of madman would go around waving a priceless gem under people's noses?
So either it's glass or I'm mad? I didn't like to think about that for too long.
Молодец, Джордж. Хорошо, что ты об этом задумался. Лучше поздно, чем никогда.
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure sleeve.
Take a look at this.
Ah, an electrician.
Есть немного, да. Мы и врач, и электрик.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
The pattern looks Middle Eastern.
Do you know what this is?
Aha! You Americans with your notorious nose candy. I read Hollywood Wives. I know all about it.
If you tried to sniff this stuff, you'd wall up your nostrils. It's plaster of Paris.
It is. Thank heaven. For one awful moment, I thought I might actually have to arrest somebody. Alors, the paperwork. You have no idea.
Да, такая уж обременительная работа жандармов.
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh.
Is that all you can say? Oh.
I did wonder if I should say that I believed him to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
И на том спасибо.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Aha! A prosthetic nose. Very significant.
It is?
No, I am just having a little joke.
Да вы, батенька, юморист.
What do you make of this grease paint stained tissue?
Delightful. Would you like to see some of my used tissues?
Hell no.
Then please put yours away.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart. They'd rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key. Do you know what this is?
It's a sewer key.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Ладно, спасибо тебе на этом. Так. И куда же нам? Давайте поговорим со зрителями.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd.
Хм. А, тут с толпой.
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
Уи. Так.
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu. A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contre-dramatique et horbalatique mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crownets of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders. Plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
Это точно.
That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
Да уж. Так. Что-то у нас там не совсем ничего не заладилось.
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing. And not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Whoever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur. You have it.
Тонко подмечено.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Что ж, давайте попробуем.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, boss.
Именно.
No, I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon. The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change. I had no desire to...
Понятно. Так, а что там у нас? Ох ты ж. Так, а там? А, это все проход в одни и те же места. Что ж, тогда давайте на этом и завершим нашу сегодняшнюю серию. С вами была рубрика «Давайте подумаем». До новых встреч!